Let's get it. So for the newest individual coming in, all right, where we need to start, again, you come into this platform to learn the foundation. So I need you to come into your IM center, get logged in properly, get into the curriculum, and go ahead and start walking through those basics videos. I'm going to give you a quick guideline as to what you are, really supposed to have done that first week or two when it comes to trading in this business, all right? Beautiful, beautiful. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come over here to the directory. This is on the Wealth Club site. I know Aldo just launched his site. We got Take Profit University as well. This is kind of the Wealth Club, Chino's site here. So as we come into the Forex training, I have a good syllabus here for the newest traders. So week 1 to 2, go through the 100, 300 series videos until understood in the Forex Academy. So that's what this is right here as we dive into the curriculum. You guys are going to learn the ins and outs and all the basics as to the lingo that's going to be applied to the charts. What is Forex? Take your test, history, take a test, traded, take a test. So as you walk through that, as you walk through those weeks 1 to 2, you're also going to attend some go live sessions. So the go live sessions right here are the live educators. So once you get your foundation, you got to start learning about the charts. You're not just going to understand this right off the bat. So you got to understand it from the 7-figure traders first. Okay, so we listed the 3 top educators for basics, Mike Miles, Bell, and Joshua Walls. This literally links you straight to their go live session. So this is going to take you straight to Mike Miles' session right here, and it's just easy to play along. All the sessions are recorded. As that loads up, I'm going to keep checking the chat. Sorry about that. The connection might be cutting a little bit, but I hope everybody's able to hear me now. All right. So again, linking you straight to the sessions where you need to go. A Bell is really, really great on the basics, and then some products. So that's really where you want to focus week 1 and 2. Just get your foundation, watch some basics educators, and you're going to be able to plug and play from there. If you have access to the Wealth Club site, if you don't, you can go ahead and message me. I got you on the password. Right here, it's going to walk you through everything as well. As you come here, what is it? History, little breakdown. When do people trade? Little breakdown. Currencies, little breakdown. So this is the same exact concepts that are in the IM Center, in the Basics 100, 200, 300 series. Just an extra review for you guys to come in and be able to see just more and more. Again, it's so much that you get for $200. After tonight, it's so much that you get for $235 initial, that we just have to let people know the amount of value that is inside of the platform, not only in the platform, but being in an environment like this team. So definitely take advantage of this for the newest students. Other than that, we're going to dive into some charts. Like I said, I'm going to keep it pretty advanced when it comes to this. I know I'm going to have some help from Shane. Brandon's been killing it. Keenan, RT, and Will, I'm not sure where you guys are at with your smart money, with your smart money concepts. It really comes after week 1 and 2. Week 3 and 4, you go over technical, you go to advanced educators. This is where smart money starts to come into play. And then, really after that, you got to go straight to the course and learn directly from them the 15 lessons on smart money. So, pretty much to get up to this point, you got to be through the 100, 300 series and go ahead and go through at least almost, if not all, of these 15 lessons inside of, it's actually 14 because we're missing one here, but these 14 sessions, in howdoitrade.com/course. So that is really confidence with entries. Perfect. And that's one of the hardest things for a beginning trader. Because again, through the basics, you can start to understand, the directional bias. You can start to understand the trend. It just comes down to when to get in and when to get out. So the cool thing about smart money is it literally shows you some of the best areas, some of the best times to be able to have those entries. And then with the confidence, it's just multiple confirmations. So, and we're going to walk through those tonight. So definitely got y'all here. I'm going to go ahead and close out of a couple tabs. Get ourselves working. So before we dive into the charts, let's take a look at Forex Factory, what we got going on. Had GBP news this morning. So tomorrow we have not a whole lot going on for London. We got Euro at 7:30. We got some USD retail sales at 8:30. Got some more Euro at 1. So, no worries on that, Shane. So big moves for the Euro tomorrow. I'm excited. We're gonna break down EU tonight. And then going into Friday, not a whole lot, little bit of GBT or GBP retail sales. But I do want to show you guys, if you never scroll down past, the news, I definitely want to show you that the positions and live accounts, it might be hiding at the bottom of here. But what you guys can do is you can go ahead and like drag these to where you want them. So like you can move it up. So what I did, little hack, move this up top because then it shows you, look, actually it's 50-50 on Euro right now. That's where the traders are. And we're going to use these later as extra confirmations. Look at UJ, 72% sellers. So I'm going to break this down into a mindset when we put it on the charts, but use this to your advantage. And if you're still not really sure about the sessions, it's right here for you guys too on Forex Factory. So you could really use this for 3 different ways. Use it for the news, use it to see where most of the positions are going with inside any currency pair. You can expand this and look at all the pairs, and then this really shows you a good session time looking over the pairs and everything, or just figuring out what session. Yeah, no worries. But that's pretty much all for Forex Factory. Just know we got some Euro news coming up, but outside of that, we'll take it back to the charts and we'll go ahead and start with the dollar index. So let me see. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just take it from the top on the dollar index. I'll probably go ahead and delete what I have so we could take it from the daily and run it up from there on smart money. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Since I'm recorded, if you guys have any questions, please stop me. But again, for this session, we're going advanced smart money trading. So as we look at the dollar index right now, we obviously see that this was great distribution up here with all the equal highs and the candle up to the downside. What was left was some great imbalance right there in that daily candle. Again, imbalance is just very fast price action to the downside that never came retraced back into. So this is an area that we could look for potential price to get there later on. All right, so this is a good area there. As we look at everything else, it's pretty much been filled in. We had good moves up last week, 4 days of consolidation, and then today we had a downwards movement. And I believe, probably for the rest of the week, we might see some more action to the downside. So going down to the 4-hour, this is what we got going on. So we had this choppiness here. We had the big move up earlier on in the week on Aldo's call. We were talking about this imbalance right here that we're heading towards. All right, because of this, which I'm going to break down this as well. But again, looking for targets on the bigger time frames, daily in the 4-hour, looking for big imbalances to take. So we have ours to the upside. Now we just created ours to the downside right there. So this is a target. And then, really to figure out where price is at right now, because on a 4-hour time frame, I'm not going to give you guys a trade to take right now. This is just an overall picture. So overall, on a daily, weekly time frame, I want this imbalance to be filled, but maybe on a hourly time frame and a 4-hour time frame, I want to see it move down a little bit more. So those are just, got to be the confirmations that you guys start telling yourselves as you walk through the chart, right? So what happened in here? What's this price action telling us in here? So as I break it down to the hour chart, okay, we had the big move up all last week, and then we've pretty much just been moving sideways. And what do we know about a sideways moving market? This is just consolidation. And what I like to use instead of the word consolidation is accumulation, because it's really just accumulating all these buy orders and all these sell orders, because the more and more it bounces off, the more sellers it's creating right here, and the more buyers it's creating right here. So it's literally just accumulating orders as it's moving through, right? And then also, very powerful as you look left to get right why we stopped here. You see this little gap, you see this last up candle. You know, it's not a coincidence. That market literally came right back to it. As you see, candle up, gap down, fell down. That's why all this rejection was made off the price of about 97.54. So why have we seen this move down on this week on the dollar? Well, yes, we have a target price here, but because of all this consolidation, all right, we're going to play smart money rules. What happened? We had a pool of money right here, a pool of equal highs. I'm going to go ahead and change this not to green. So this is a pool of equal highs. What did we do? We had one candle come up and sweep the highs. And this was that last up candle right here. Send it back. This is that last up candle. We had a big move down. So what you can do is take that up candle, open 50%, whatever you want to do. That's how this sell comes into play. Okay, so that's why this was a clean sell last week off of this candle. But now this candle is no longer valid. This sell is no longer valid. It already happened. All right. So the thing is because it already gave its movement and then never wanted to continue the downside and held this as support, then you can't still be looking for sells down here if we never broke this. So what did the market do? It had to come back up one more time. As you see, this one candle right here went ahead and took. So pool of money was taken, was mitigated. And now that mitigation actually turned into another pool of money, right, for them to come take. And what happens when we create that one candle? We pretty much got a retest there. You know, we didn't really get that candle. We mostly got this last up candle and that imbalance right there. But either way, I just want you guys to see that, you know, this last, you made the move off this, mitigation play down, move off this, mitigation play down. All right. So we were looking bearish on the dollar here, and I think we're going to continue that bias to move into the yellow box. Just continue that bias to move into the yellow box. So as I delete what we just put on there, you know, again, as you see, creating those equal lows, which are perfect right above our imbalance. These are going to be taken later. Is it possible that the dollar is going to move up a little bit before it moves down? Absolutely, because what do we have? We have an up candle right here. That left what? A little bit of imbalance underneath it, right? So there is a possibility that we could move back up into 97.37. If it wants to, it definitely doesn't have to. It could go ahead and just continue back down into the yellow. So, you know, for me, again, based on that analysis, I have weak dollar. Okay, we're going into Thursday and Friday. So even if this were to push up during London, all right, I'm going to be looking for a weak dollar going into Thursday and Friday because I think that there's more potential going to the downside than there is to the upside. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break that down on a couple currency pairs. I'm definitely going to start with GU, and then we'll make our way to EU, and then we'll touch on any other pairs that you guys want to look at. But again, let's keep in mind, weak dollar. That's what we're really looking for. That's what we want to see continue. So as we come over to GU, I'll pop back to the daily so you all can see what's going on. So again, this is the cool thing about GU is that all year we created these highs. To end off the year, we had one wick come up and move it down. So overall bias is to the downside, is a strong dollar, but that's a big term bias. Like I have all these imbalances down here. When I break this price action down inside of here, I'm going to show you guys, you know, why the weak dollar then these next 2 days might push this market up. So that's the daily. Pop in here to the 4 hour. So what am I looking for here on the 4 hour? So we obviously had our big candle up, market trickled its way back down. All right, left a pool of money here, came back up, pretty much created and played off this up candle before the down move filled all that imbalance. That's why it pewed off there. So this candle is no longer.
Yo, how much is the membership, the subscription?
Like
It's only $199. So that's why this candle is still valid and not this candle. We already played off of it. So next time the market comes up here, I think this is a valid entry. So that's an imbalance that we're looking for. But we do have this pool of money and this down candle before the up move. So again, these are just pointing out targets for ourselves as we break down the chart. So what's really gone on this week? All right, so as we see, this is this week's price action. All right, now I want you guys to see how did this open? When it opened up at 5 p.m. on Sunday, we opened up with a gap here. So most people are going to go ahead and fill in a box right there that shows the imbalance. So look what happened today. It literally filled that gap perfectly. Okay, but this has been a target since the beginning of the week that it dropped down. Now, I hope you guys can go ahead and see what kind of went on right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. As I pull it up here, I hope you guys can see that the equal lows that it created and made a whipsaw, went ahead and tested back off of it, and we were good to go. So right here, accumulation schematic 1. As we load that up, they're going to load up on my right. So right here, I know it might be a little small for you guys, but at the end of the day, we had that selling climax, we had the equal lows, and we had that spring that took it out, and then the mark up. So this is exactly what everybody saw on GU right here. All right, let me see. I'll go ahead and delete everything. So again, filled out the imbalance. All right, market moved down very quickly. We have these lows right here, this pool of lows, right? Go ahead and make it blue. We know this is a pool of money hanging out. All right, market comes back up, creates those equal highs to be taken out later, literally perfectly below what was an imbalance on this candle. So I'm literally walking you guys through price all week. So this is Sunday night, consolidation through Asian, falls down during London, rises up during New York. And that's pretty much the end of the trading day. Sunday night, Monday morning, consolidates the rest of Monday and through Asian session, right? So again, market fell down, created a pool of lows, came back up, created a pool of highs. Perfectly right above this imbalance that can get taken out later. So what do they do going into London session Monday, Tuesday morning? They're going to come back, they're going to sweep the lows where most people see this up and see these and want to start entering off, right in this consolidation to the upside. Smart money is going to bring the market down 36 pips. As you see, this wick was lower and took all other price action that was in this pool of money right here. So that's super, super important, seeing this wick and then seeing money quickly trade above. Let me go ahead and get into replay mode here. So quickly trade above all other prices. So look, literally an entire day and a half of consolidation, they take out the lows, and in 3 hours, they take out the highs. Now this wick taking out these highs just showed how fast money got behind the move once they took the lows, right? So this is exactly what we look for. So now what are we taught to do inside of the schematic? Once we have a spring to the downside and we see money get behind quickly, we're going to look for that test. So what are we going to do? We're going to take that last down candle, take this last down candle, switch around my colors. All right, we're going to mark up. I'm just going to mark up 2 entry points on this. We can mark up the open. We can mark up the 50. I really don't even remember if it came back. As you see this wick here, I think it did either way. So we're not going to worry about it. But, as we're looking at this, again, 2 targets to the upside, right? Pool of money just got taken during London session perfectly at 3 o'clock. And now we see that market move up during, like post London, or not post London, but like at the end of London before New York. So this shows the signs of to the upside. You know, something crazy for some of my advanced traders, imbalance right here. Sometimes it's not going to fill the full imbalance. It's only going to fill 50%. And that's exactly where that wick got. If we take 50% of this imbalance, boom, as you see, it pretty much almost got it right there. So people take trades off of those all the time. So as I play this out, we're going to see market come trade back into perfectly those prices that I needed to mitigate, because all they did was, again, most of the buyers are in here. The banks don't want to buy with most of the buyers, so they're going to drive price down. They're going to get their buy entry here. And now that they've already stopped everybody else out and taken their money, what they did is right here. Actually, let me go ahead and make a circle. What they did, I'll make a square. So what they did right here is say, you know what? Even though we're bullish on this pair and we want to drive it to the upside, we're going to have to throw a fat sell real quick. So they drop a 10,000 lot sell. Okay, they go hella pips in profit. They take out all the other buyers. And then when it gets down here, then they buy. Then they drop, instead of their 10,000 lot sell, they're going to throw 100,000 lot buy. So market moves up very, very quickly. So now their buy is in hella profit, and they didn't close their sell. They let it go into negative. So what they have to do is break even or mitigate on that institutional candle. They got to mitigate the sell position that they took. And what mitigation is, it is literally breaking even on that opposite position. All right, I hope that makes sense to you guys. I can break down a little bit more, but again, this purple box, they sold to buy, then they come break even on the sell right here, take their second buy entry, and that's when they go ahead and move the market up into the other take profit areas. So as you see, filled up this imbalance, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. Again, this is where people are taking their trades. So as you come here, you take a trade there. You can go below the other stop, so you can use less than a 25 pip stop on this trade, right? Potential, if you're just going up to here, 77 pips. So a good 3-to-1, 3-to-1, 3.5 to 1 ratio right there that we're looking at, that this market ended up finishing out on. Let me go ahead and just fast forward it out. I didn't even need to do that, actually. Let me bring it back. So does that make sense, everybody? Drop a 777 if you've been able to follow along with smart money and you see that accumulation schematic 1 happening right here. Drop a 111 in the chat just so I know you guys are following along. If not, please ask me some questions. All right, that should really make sense to everybody as it came down to here. Now, I'm going to break it down on a smaller time frame as well. But what I want to show you guys is that it's always going to keep playing off these candles. So just like this accumulation, we got to let it mark up. We got to let it mark up. So I'm not going to be looking for sells. I'm going to be looking for buys. So as we get a big push up, I'm just going to go back. This candle's already been played off of, right? So I don't need to worry about that candle no more. Now I'm going to look for that last down candle. I'm going to move my point of interest to this down candle. Mark up the open, mark up the 50. You know, again, this is 7, 8, 9, 10 through New York session. So now when it comes, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, I'm going to let it consolidate. I'm not going to touch the market. So now if we are looking for another entry, it's going to be in these 2 blue price ranges to go ahead and make that move into the yellow box. Again, guys, we're just playing by the same rules each and every single time. So I'm going to let that play out, and then I'll check the chat box. So there's midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. Look at that. Quickly move away. And now we're literally going to move straight up into our target area as the rest of the day went on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 o'clock went ahead and filled. So I'm going to get rid of that. Let me check the chat. Was there any imbalance close to the bottom of that range? Was there any? So this range right here, let me see. So as we're talking about this range and this move down, so this move up, let me get rid of these two blue lines so we can clear it up a little bit. So yes, there is some imbalance. It is very, very small. Okay, really, all that you would have, because again, look at this move up, and we have this one candle down, and then we have this move up. But because of these wicks, as you see, it really came and captured. It didn't move away quickly and leave something like a gap like this. I can't fit a box anywhere in here that wicks don't touch on both sides. So this was just very, very small price movement to the upside and never left an area of imbalance. Now, on a smaller time frame, because of this down and this up, you know, who knows, there might be a little bit up in here, and maybe that is why, you know, it brought this candle back a little bit in here. And we'll break it down on the 15-minute, but there wasn't too much imbalance to play off of. That's why this move down wasn't necessary during London this morning. It was just an excuse to move down to finish up the move. I hope that answered your question, Brandon. Again, there just wasn't too much imbalance to work with right there because of these wicks pulling back down, and there was really only one candle that showed. Last question, how far back should these imbalance go to be relevant? They're relevant until they get filled. Literally relevant till they get filled. Like we can go back to the daily on GU, and this is a relevant imbalance because it hasn't been filled on the daily. This, so what's the difference between this and this? This has no imbalance because this up candle got taken by this down wick. These were all sell positions that came and filled. You can't fit anything in here, right? Just like this was filled that way. So yeah, imbalances, you know, imbalance are working until they get filled. So like, look at these huge imbalances that we have on the daily for GU back in, this was the beginning of 2018. So all these will be filled at some point. It's just, you know, it's not going to be right away all the time. So, whoops. I'll definitely break down imbalances a little bit. Yeah, facts. So yeah, for RT, so imbalance is really just, you know, the market moving very quickly one way and not allowing, you know, it's just this right here is an imbalance of price because it moves so quickly and didn't offer any sell positions. And it left this gapped area to where the only people making money in these 2 hours were buyers. It gave no sellers an opportunity to make money. So this left an imbalance of price. So technically, history always repeats itself, and it's going to come fill, as you see perfectly right here, that imbalance of price. So you guys can see this happening all the time on the charts. So it's just like here, up candle, price moves down very quickly. All right, we have an imbalance right here between these two wicks. What got filled perfectly? 50% of that imbalance right there. So if you're unsure of, you know, really how to look at imbalances, you know, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to Forex Advanced. I want you to go to Zach and Jordan session. I want you to go to favorite sessions. The imbalance areas are just future targets. The markets have to offer value to both buyers and sellers. Exactly. Like he said, they're just targets coming up, you know, coming up in the market. But Zach and Jordan literally have a favorited session on imbalances. So I definitely want you to watch that. If you just scroll down here, mine's taking a little while to load. But Rock was just showing it today on his session too. But yeah, that's pretty much imbalances. But you know, I hope you guys can see, you know, really how that played off. There wasn't imbalance here, but it did. Like I said, we came to our next point of interest candle, right? We took the open, which is a conservative entry. We took the 50%, which is the or aggressive entry, conservative entry, and pew pew right here. Market moved up very quickly, and that's how you caught your, you know, your New York session buy right there. For sure. I hope it's a little clear for everybody else. I'll have to check it on the recording. afterwards. But you know, again, GU is very clean both nights. Buy off this candle, right? Buy off this candle, perfect. And now where we stand, you know, again, market's pretty much just consolidating right here at this imbalance. Again, it'll do its thing through Asian session. And again, what we can look out for is, again, movement. I'm looking for a weak dollar. So I want to see this continued movement upwards. We do have, you know, as you see, we have this candle that it did test the wick, but we may not have gotten anything to the body yet. We haven't got anything to the body of this candle either. I don't think we got wick on that candle either. Nope. So this is my next point of interest, 3,100. Look at that, how it confluences with the whole price of 3,100 right there. So I think we'll definitely get a good 60-ish pip move up from GU, hopefully through London and New York session, you know, with the help of the weak dollar moving it up. But that's pretty much what I got for GU. Hopefully continuing moving up. I don't see a lot of area of retracement. We've already got our good retracements back. EU looks very similar and is super, super clean. I'm not going to do the whole directional bias for you, but again, look, same thing. I hope you guys can see the schematic already. What did we do? Create a pool of lows. Pool of lows. We took, you know, pretty much a couple candles and brought it to the downside. This is a lot cleaner on the 4 hour. Let me check. Let me do this on the 4 hour for you guys. Boom. So pool of lows, last down candles, right? So what do we do? And then quick move up. Quick move up. What that candle? So what are we going to do? We're going to take the open. We're going to take the 50%, right? We let price move away. We let price come back because all they did here was sell to buy. We let them come back, mitigate. This is the pew entry that we now catch back to the upside. So again, this, again, same schematic. Accumulation, candle down, moves up quickly, comes back, retraces, moves up quickly, right? Where are we moving up into? We're moving up into these last up candles. We're moving up into this little bit of imbalance that's right here on the 4 hour chart. And again, this is playing perfectly with a weak dollar to the upside, right? Same bias as GU, same bias as the dollar index. And you can even see this wick comes back on a smaller time frame and snags the 50% of that down candle. Because again, once we play off this candle, I don't care about those entries anymore. Now I got to go off this candle. And that's how you get that 50% entry right there. And as we break it down on the hour, again, you see it even cleaner. What did market do? Created a pool of money right here. They took one candle, moved it down just to come back and mitigate it here to make a move up. That's why this, like this entry right here, is just so beautiful. Easiest 40 pips ever on a 3 o'clock candle or 3 a.m. candle. So just be looking for this. You guys can just see this day in, day out, day in, day out. Pool of money, move down, perfect. Okay, it's not always going to come down to that last down candle. This came pretty much to the top of the structure right here. This structure moved down to move up, pretty much came down and tested the structure. But again, either way, giving you two beautiful buy entries within that time frame. So I showed you guys two pairs with the US dollar on the back end. So with a weak dollar, it's moving up. Let's look how clean UJ is, because again, we have 72% of people selling UJ right now. That's what it tells me right here. 72% of traders are short on UJ. So let's take a look at UJ. Bam, look, this entire pool of highs. was taken by this move up. So as I knocked down on a smaller time frame, we pretty much had this pool, big move up right here. There's our last up candle. We've had pretty much just consolidation plays off of this entire thing. This is what accumulated over 72% of traders in sells. So what are we looking at right now? We see the imbalance hanging out right here in this candle, right? Because we had a very big up move, no retracement back into it. You know, this is the only retracement that we had on top, which created these lows. Boom, boom, boom. So again, we're looking good to the downside, but it's been accumulating for a while, so it may want to come throw a wick up to catch these buyers. But again, you know, moving with our analysis, if we're looking weak dollar, it'll push this pair down, you know, probably down into this last down candle before the up move. So I hope you guys got some value from this. It was recorded, so I'm gonna drop it on YouTube. I would consider the capture of liquidity accumulation to be a smart money indicator, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly. So when it captures that liquidity, that's exactly what smart money does. They hit those points of interest and then it moves away. But I appreciate you guys for hopping on. Like I said, it'll be recorded. I'm going to do some more calls tomorrow on this. Very few indicators. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of indicators when it comes to smart money, but you know, there's indications